Welcome, anime guy. Did you know that anime's been canceled by Big Con?
Them bastards. All that I will say is there's a reason it's called Big Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. This is going to be my one and only word regarding any of these. Once Rush died, talk radio died with him. I thoroughly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as it being an effective medium for all these other ones, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work as well for them as it did for him. You know, he was the pioneer. He was the reason it came into being. And the only two on there that I liked him, and I also really liked Dr. Savage. And Dr. Savage retired because he's ancient, and of course Rush died from cancer.
Because he's also really old.
Well, Rush was only 70. He's not that old. He just got
that's not
cancer.
Really crazy though. I mean, yeah, he has cancer and he died at 70. That seems pretty normal, really.
A smidge young, but that's one of those things. So, but once
Rush was all for
here's the thing, Alex Moore.
Wars,
he may have started off that way, but he didn't stay that way.
You know what I hear whenever I hear like what reminds me most of Rush, and this is gonna be a weird one for a lot of people. When I hear Tim Pool talk, I hear Rush Limbaugh's voice.
Really?
The way he talks, the things he talks about are all the things that I listened to when I was growing up with my dad on talk radio, going to school in the morning, listening to Rush Limbaugh. It's all very, very similar talking points, similar ideas. It just very, at least 90s Rush. I don't know if there was a different Rush that wasn't the 90s and 2000s Rush.
The 2000s,
the 90s 2000 Rush is basically Tim Pool.
Yeah. Once W was there, you could see that he was trying to do his best with him. But once he left, it changed. But I can tell you that once Orange Man became it, he did change a lot. He changed dramatically. But it also helps that he was also married again to the woman that he wishes that he would have had for the first time around. But that's neither here or there. But all that I'll say is, there's a reason it's called Big Con. I can't stand him anymore. All these other places I just can't do. I can't stand them. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part that I linked to in the Temple video, there's actually a different take. It's not about that. The first half of the video is actually about anime and just seeing it more positively. But the second half is actually different. It's just about spending time with your kids. It's
this half that you've linked to here.
Yeah, that half he's starting at is a different one. Yeah.
Should I go back? What are you telling me to do here?
As I say, if you want to watch this, you can. I actually like this quite a bit. But
okay. Let's start with the positives.
Yeah. We are not supposed to, as a species, separate ourselves from our children the way we do.
Fair.
That a dad says, "I'm off to work, kids," and leaves is an aberration, which is causing societal decay. It used to be, the dad would wake up, let's say blacksmith, and the kid is now 10 years old.
Why has he got to be a blacksmith?
And he'd go into the his work.
Blacksmith.
Because they're really cool.
Yeah, just job title, just job working
blacksmith,
in a village.
Shop, and to be like, "Son, get in here.
Up,
I need a pail of water."
He's what?
Used to be mom gets up, looks at the kid, says, "Okay, we're gonna be gigolos today."
Oh, there you go. Giggly jiggly.
Yeah.
Yes, Dad. And the kid is with his dad the whole time, learning from his dad. The daughter is with the mom, and as a family, they're learning and working with the community. We got to this point in industrialization where it's like, I'm going to work and you will never see what I do. That moment separated parents from instilling their skills, values, and assets to their children.
Mm-hmm.
And
see, can't you hear this? Pop, can't you hear Rush say this?
Yeah.
Now that moment in history is when we separated the parents and the children and then took the children and gave them to the government and said, "Government, you handle it." That's the line of thought that he would have.
It is insane as somebody who watched Tim Pool before he blew up. I started following him from Occupy kind of stuff. I'm a legit long time viewer, and he has changed so much. It is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? I don't hear Rush. I hear who's that old man on Fox? Mark Levin.
Mark Levin.
hear
Oh,
that.
okay. He also has a book.
Crazy.
They all wrote books. Does anybody know Kirby Wilbur? That was another one that was on talk radio growing up.
You guys shouldn't watch anime. You should read books. My book, actually.
Living on a compound will do that to you. Having access to a mini ramp all day will do that to you. That's what I think.
And then we put kids in schools, institutionalized learning facilities, so the government could train them.
Oh, I have not pre-watched this. I did not pre-watch this. I knew it.
Train them
Creepy.
to be more drones like
Yep.
the parents in the industrial.
Parents got to bring their kids to work.
That's not Matt Wall.
That's why I tell people here, I'm like, dude,
That's what I said. This
it is a
part is
cultural
not
shift that
actually
needs
about
to go
this
back.
whatsoever.
Like, whenever you're able, we have work parties and stuff. I'll be like, bring your kids, man, and no one should have a problem
Bring
with
your
it.
kids, man.
Human beings should not be like, oh, the baby's crying, I'm angry about it. No, too bad. If somebody who works here is like, I'd like to come to the work event, but I have the kids, bring them.
Yeah.
And if anyone has an issue with that, I'm simply gonna say to them like, dude, human beings are this way. That's it.
Too many parents of our generation act like their kids are a burden.
Yep.
It's like,
But not only that, like when I hear, I don't get mad when I hear babies crying. I'm not annoyed by it. I'm not frustrated by it. It makes me smile. Like I'm not the baby
it
suffering
makes
or
me
anything.
panic. Like, oh, we got to
Right.
help them.
Right.
But then you learn the difference between
Tim
actual
Pool
crying and I
loves
just
hearing
want attention
children
crying.
cry.
Sure. When I'm on a plane,
Some people say Tim Pool will take a lollipop out of a baby's hand just so he can hear it cry.
Your child's in public, it should be teary-eyed and whining.
That's his ringtone for his phone.
It's just a child crying.
Sometimes
That's-
he just lets it ring.
That's the real reason Adam Krigler left. He couldn't handle the cell phone anymore.
Yeah, that's it. It's just like right after they get off set, all the kids come in and they just start crying. They wheel in the crying babies.
I don't know if I can work here anymore.
We're gonna
Well,
have
you
to
know
ask
what?
Adam
That's just
Krigler
how
about
people
this.
are.
I knew it. It's not all that other weird power trip stuff. It's the babies all.
and I hear a baby crying, I don't get angry about it. And I hear the mom saying, like,
I didn't
I can hear
rewind.
like the parents trying to get the baby to stop crying. It makes me laugh. I'm like, this is life. These are humans. This is what babies do. So if someone has kids, those kids should periodically visit work. I understand some things can be disruptive. You can't have little kids running around knocking over milk and stuff like that. But within reason, at a certain age, especially like once a kid's like 9 years old, they're old enough to watch their parent work, whatever that work may be.
Oh yeah, this one's going on a highlights tomorrow, Shum. Don't you worry.
He's deadpan says, the baby's crying. I see the mother run over and be like, no, stop crying. And I laugh. Like, how did he say that?
I can just imagine Tim just walking by, and then he hears a baby cry. He's like, slowly turns around, like, nice.
It's the who is the who's the comedian who does the no, let the boy watch. Like that whole like comedy routine. He's like, no, let the child cry. Like, what is that
He's
from?
He's
I
the
can't think
Joker
who that
from
is.
the Joker at the end.
Oh, it's Will
It's
Ferrell.
not funny.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's Will Ferrell in Eastbound and Down dressed as this guy. And he's like talking about, he's like, sometimes when I'm really deep dicking my wife, like really down raw, and my little boy, little 6-year-old Billy opens the door and stumbles into the room, and my wife says, "Oh no, get him out!" And I say, "No, let the boy watch. He'll learn the way I learned from my father, and my father." The whole thing is ad lib too. And watching what's his face from The Office, and then the what is the Mexican guy from? I forget what he's from. Watching them try not to die laughing as Will Ferrell is going on about all of this is so funny. So if I ever say "let the boy watch," that's what I mean. Is he trying to look like Ric Flair? No, he is Ric Flair. All right, continue, Tim.
And be involved. I probably have this in me because my family opened a coffee shop, and I am 9 years old, and I'm working the register. I am refilling.
You know, Adam, what your coffee needs more children's tears. That's really gonna open up the flavor.
Children pouring the coffee.
Damn it, Tim! Don't tell me how to grind my coffee, please. No, I'm telling you, my family owned a coffee shop. It works.
Filling the chili. I am stocking the muffins, and that's how things used to be.
I'm
You worked with
stocking
your
the
family,
muffins.
and so you learned these values, and you earned something from it.
I don't want 9-year-olds touching the muffins.
So at what is the? I can't remember if I think it might have been 14, but it might have been 15. Was our like, if you're related to the owner and it's a family business, you can work even though you're like well under the age of working.
Yeah.
And so I started.
13-year-olds to like help around like lunchtime is fine.
Yeah, so like I started bussing tables at my uncle's diner as a little kid.
Yeah, I think that's like fine.
Yeah, and it was like that's really good. I think more.
As long
I hate
as you
that
know
there's
the
a rule
person
about it.
employing them isn't going to be overworking them, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean there is that fear, and that's why they have the rule of like have it be family. But I think the have it be family rule is kind of the worst part about it. Like add some other thing where like you track and make sure they're not getting overworked or they're not getting underpaid. Like have some other tracking method, but like open that up because that act doing that was super helpful just in growing up and realizing how to interact with other adults in the world.